Hey, what's happening, guys? Willie here at the Great Outdoors. Been having some great luck finding fishing reels recently, and I'm gonna tell you what, it's really helped my wintertime blues. I can tell you that right now when it comes to fishing and camping and things like that. Finding these reels, I don't know what's going on. There's been this sudden explosion of places that I go, finding these fishing reels, different versions of things. And some of these things we're finding out can be very much the same under a different name. We're also finding out that you can find a lot of Johnson Centuries if you really look around. But the others have become a little elusive. Other things that I would like to be able to show you that aren't identical, same number, same models, that kind of stuff. Shakespeare recently has just exploded. I'm finding Shakespeare reels everywhere. And not every one is the same version, which is kind of cool. Even though Shakespeare named things different and different model numbers, you are going to find some similarities in these reels, and that's just how it works. But I found one today that was kind of weird to me because I haven't found one like this yet. And seems to be working okay. I think it's going to be good for us to tear apart and put back together and possibly have a really cool little reel to fish with. I'm going to show it to you right now. Now, I don't have the bottom half of this box, so I got to hold on to the reel so you don't see it. It's a magic trick. That's right. Wave this hand over here, so this hand over here is doing something different. You don't see it. It's magic. Not Harry Potter kind of magic, but Harry Houdini kind of magic. What we have, you see that? Is everybody looking at that? Another Shakespeare, that's right. The Shakespeare, whoa, I almost dropped it out the bottom. Man, would that have been bad. The 1775 push button Wondercast. Very cool reel. Of course, we have the bottom half of the box. I'm going to put the reel on the table and show you the box, because the boxes are neat. There you go. Just cool. That was the box. And of course, if it's going to go anywhere, it's going to go as far away as it possibly can go. That's right, that's how it works. When you're working on a car and you drop a socket, do you think it falls to the outside somewhere around the car where you can just reach down and pick it up? No, 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 no. It either falls all the way through and lands dead center under the transmission as far away from you as it can get, or it falls down into the engine and gets stuck somewhere in the frame where you never see it again, but you hear it rattle all the time. That box is over there. I'm going to go get it now. All right, I'm back again. Push button Wondercast. Easy casts, quick as a flash, with push button magic. Magic. It's magic again. We're talking about magic, and I didn't even know that. That's magic in itself. Say what you want, people. Shakespeare Wonder Rod. Feel the difference. Ask to see specially designed Shakespeare Wonder Rods. Two-piece, ferrule jointed, spin type, guides, perfect length, and action for casting live bait and popular lures. Push button Wondercast reels and bait casting rods. That's pretty groovy. I'd like to find one of them. Let me show you that real quick. I don't like vintage rods too much, but I almost think that I would take one of those if I could find it. And of course, there's no bottom half. I really wish there was, but there's not. So, there you go. There's the box. Enough about the box. We're not fixing the box. Now, it just so happens that this Shakespeare push button Wondercast 1775 is missing a screw. Well, you know what? I bought new ones. That's right, I have extras just laying around. Now, here's the cool thing about this reel. I'm going to take the cap off because it's not screwed on. Dual handle. See that? It's got dual handle. I've yet to see a Shakespeare with dual handle. Very cool. So anyway, we're going to get this thing down to the table. Let's get it taken apart. It does have one part that's messed up that we're going to have to be extremely careful with. Because it's bent, and I have to hope that I can bend it back without breaking it. You can see it. Well, that wire is supposed to be sticking out straight, and when you screw the cap on, which of course is your drag, it goes down to that wire, and it makes the zzz, zzz, zzz sound that you hear when you do that. Someone has bent that straight down, or not straight down, but at a 45 anyway, and that's not supposed to be like it. It's supposed to be up there. We're going to see if we can fix that without breaking it. That will be a test, because, you know, these wires are old. Anyway, let's get this thing apart. I'll get you down to the table here, and let's get into this thing and see what the inside of it looks like. Are we good? Are we good right here? Yes. There are bowls in play here. All right. Again, there's our cap. And as usual, there is a dent in the cap. Now, I can't tell if somebody has tried to repaint this. It doesn't look like it. But regardless, it's still a cool little reel. I don't care if they try to paint it or not. Maybe one day we'll strip it down and make it all silver. Wouldn't that be cool? But other than that dent, now this is one of the reels with no screw in the top. So you're going to hold on to the crank, spin her counterclockwise, and ta-da! And there is some oil in this thing, like it's wet. So maybe somebody made an attempt to make this thing try to work, and we'll pop that spool off there. Now, here is where our problem is. That wire right there should be down like that and then bent back up, but I'm just terrified that that wire is going to break. Because, you know, if you bend a paper clip enough times, what happens? She breaks. We'll work on that once I get everything else apart here. Now we're missing the screw right there, which is not a big deal because I have more, thank goodness. Okay, well that didn't break. She's in there pretty tight though, but it didn't break. Scared me though, I will tell you that. Well, it is gooey. That's not a big deal though. We can fix that. Why am I putting the little parts in the big bowl and the big parts in the little bowl? Let's take our button out there. That'll clean up okay. Now, okay, what do we got there? First thing, we got to get a paper towel and get some of that grease out of that thing. So, what do we got? We have what looks to be a little hairpin and then a washer. And then all of this will come loose. Now, I am going to tell you that this reel has been used. That gear is not pretty. Pinion gear or crank gear is not pretty. But that's alright. That's okay. Let's see if I can get that little hairpin thing. Alright. Hairpin stuck to my thumb. That's good. Put you in there. Let's pull that out. Yick. That's pretty icky right there. That's right, icky. It's a technical term. Look it up. Little washer. That washer goes on the end of the shaft and the hairpin sits on it, and then this terribly ugly, nasty spring. Then our gear, which is hideous, and it looks like the washer is stuck to the gear. Is the washer stuck to the gear? Yes, washer is stuck to the gear. Put that in there, and that's hideous. Okay. Alright, let me get my little wrench here, get the crank off. This double handle is just really cool. And their plastic's in good shape, which is really, really cool. Alright, we've got no washer, no nothing under there. I don't believe there's supposed to be one. Crank there. So, with this one, you can't just pass the gear out. It actually will hit on one of the screw holes. If you can see that there. The gear will hit the screw hole right at the bottom. So you actually physically have to take those out. It doesn't just fall out the other side. A lot of times they just fall right out. But no, not this time. Let's put these pieces over here and stop confusing the parts. Cross our fingers that all of our little screws will come out. And there we have our body. Our gear. Do we have washers? Nope, not a washer. Okay, that's cool. Do we have a washer here? Nope, no washer there, it looks like. They all look like washers, but they're not. So put that there. that there. And basically, there we are. We're completely apart. We are in pieces, and now we need to go do the cleaning process, which actually takes longer than disassembling the reel and putting it back together. Can you see what I'm saying here? Are you down with these and how filthy they are? All right, everything is clean, and I'm not kidding, man. What takes the longest to do this stuff is cleaning the reel up, getting the grease off of it. Some of this grease just refuses to loosen up and become gone. It just gets gooier, it seems like, and I use Dawn because it helps take grease out of your way. And this needs to be the first thing that we work on right here, because I'm honestly not sure how that's supposed to be. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to squeeze it here and here to hold it down, and then bend it up and hope that that thing doesn't break. Because if it breaks, not that we can't use the reel, but it definitely makes things a little more complicated. So let's see here. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, that bent. I'm not sure if that's how it was supposed to bend, because somebody has definitely bent that thing up. And I hope that that's good enough. It's not broken, and not broken means it's close to good enough. Anyway, let's commence here. We are going to take some of these big parts out, sit them, and we're going to go with the shaft, which came out okay. You could tell that this reel has been used. This is not a reel that has sat and nobody did anything with it, that's for sure. This one falls into the category with the old Duke. It got used. It ain't as beat up as the Duke was, and it definitely wasn't locked up and frozen, but it's definitely been used. And then we will take our shaft and we will push it in here and just work it around a bit, let it get itself together. Oh yeah, that's super smooth there. Washer goes in there, want some grease. Now my gear, let me think here. If I'm turning the gear this way, that means that gear goes that way. So much. I really want to put it back on the way it came off, because I'm going to tell you now that pinion gear is worn pretty good. All right, let's get our spring on here. Spring, come back. Now we need to get our little brass washer. Oh no. Man, that was almost an absolute 100% catastrophe right there. Now we need our little hairpin. These little pieces, you'd be surprised how quickly they can take flight. All right, there we go. We're back together. Ooh, that works smoothly. Shaft doesn't appear to be bent too badly. Does have a little bit of a bow to it though. Let's go button. Okay, this needs to go in like that. And now I want my side plate. What do I do with my side plate? Okay, I just had it. Here it is. When we get old, we don't remember where we do, what we do, who we are. Get us a couple screws just to hold it into place. All right. I'm going to leave that bottom one out because I do need to replace one because I didn't have one. Actually, we can put the top half together if we wanted to. If we so chose, and I so chose. Rotor cleaned up real nice. Again though, they used some kind of grease inside this thing that just, it did not want to give up. Which is, I guess, a good thing. Spool cleaned up really well. Got all the dirt and junk out of the grooves on the bottom. All is good there, it looks like. There we go. Tight. All right, let's put this crank mechanism back together. Now there were no washers or anything for this, but I cleaned out all the inside, the shaft housings and stuff. Now if you notice in these things, there's always a groove in the middle there, and that groove can hold oil. Drip it right down in there, let it run down inside, and then you quickly push it in there. Then we can put our crank handle on, which came out really nice. Cleaned that up really well. Because really the cool factor to this reel is this dual handle, which you just do not see very often. Then we will put our plate on here. Let's see if it works. Almost works too good. It's not the smoothest one in the world, but it works. That is what matters. Sounds like I'm choking a frog. All right, we're doing the thing. And this one is not gonna, this one ain't gonna shine like a new penny or anything. But it is gonna function, and that's what it's all about. And then we're gonna look at the date code on this one and see what the date is on it. Shakespeare Wondercast with the dual handle. It's a little fella. A little bit bigger maybe than a Johnson Century or something like that. Got a small dent in the cap up here, which is not unheard of. We know that that's one of those things that we have to deal with. She's almost hitting. Looks like it's bent slightly, like the arm is bent slightly, but we'll work on that later. It's not hitting right now, so we're not going to worry about it. FD. FD. Let's look up FD. Might be 7, might be 57. I'm going to guess at it. I'm going with a guess, and let's just see. Hey, I was right! FD is 57. FD, yes, 57. 1957 is the model year for this particular one. The 1775. What do you think of that? This will be a fun one to fish with. I can see this one being this one's going to be a bobber. I can see that now. It's going to be a bobber fishing bluegill kind of thing. Maybe even trout. If we're using a bobber and we're out at the river of some kind or something like that. And if we go frog gigging, I can... Anyway, there you go. One more to add to the fishing collection. Yeah, the gotta get out and go fishing, gotta use them thing. But this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna enjoy this one. We're gonna take her out bobber fishing. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. One more down, and we'll see you on the next one. Whatever the doggone next one may be. I'm actually looking forward to it myself now. Not that I haven't been before, but now it's just kind of like Christmas all the time. Jingle bells and dashing through and all that jive. I'm going to put this on a reel. Well, let's go fishing.